Hey everybody, welcome to our first flip video. This will be an opportunity for you guys to keep track of what we're doing at home, and that way you don't have to listen to me talk so much in class, because you can pause me at home, uh, but you can't pause me in class. So this will be a lot better way to do this, and that way we can also get more class work done in class. So normally flip videos will take the place of homework, and then we can do what's traditionally homework in class. So I do have a couple guidelines because I do want you to follow along with these videos and practice the problems just like we would in class. So I want you guys to keep your notes in a separate area of your notebook, organized and titled by lesson. That way I can look and you can also look and see what we've worked on. That way if you need to find today's video on literal equations, you can find that pretty quickly. I'll try to keep it organized so you can write everything that I write in blue. Sometimes I'll just be giving you extra stuff. I'll try to keep that in black so you know it's not as important. But the blue I do want you to write yourself as well. And then there'll be some on your own questions at the end. Uh, just like one or two, shouldn't take more than 5 minutes or so. Just answer those questions each day before class the next day. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be solving what are called literal equations. So literal equations, if you need to identify one, have more than one variable, and you're not going to be able to get rid of these variables. So there's going to be two variables or more left at the end of the equation, which is not what you guys are usually used to. So I want you guys to be able to solve a literal equation. So let me just explain what a literal equation is. First, I'll give you a regular equation. It might look like this. That's not a pen. Here we go. Like 4x plus 10 equals 12. So this is not a literal equation because there's only one variable. It's just x. And we could actually solve for this equation and we would be able to get x equals some number. I think it'd be a half. But anyway, we could solve for it and you're just going to have x equals a number. But say I had something that looked like this, 4x plus 2y equals 12. Well, now you're never going to be able to get this to the point where there's not an x and a y. You're not going to be able to get rid of the y's. You're not going to be able to get rid of the x's. However, you might be able to write this as y equals something something x, or like a form you're familiar with, y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b, there's always an x and there's always a y. That's actually an example of a literal equation. So you guys have actually done some of these before. Let's look at a different example. So you guys know that the perimeter of a rectangle is you just add up all the sides. This side and this side, this side and this side, they're lengths, and that gives you the perimeter. Another ways of writing it is 2w plus 2l. So when you're given a literal equation and asked to solve it, you need to know what you're solving for, because you could either get p by itself, which it already is, you could get w by itself, or you could get l by itself. So they'll say something like solve this for w. So they have to say what you're solving it for. So this means that your goal is to write this equation as w equals something. So let's give it a shot. So right now we have p equals 2w plus 2l. So we want to solve this for w, so we want the w to be by itself. So we could divide by 2, or we could subtract 2l from both sides. And we'll see where that gets us. I should have been doing this in blue. Shoot. Well, I'll keep doing it in blue. Here we go. Blue. All right, we'll change that other stuff to blue. Let's see if I can do it here. Nope. All right, we'll just start doing it in blue for starting now. So now on this side we have P minus 2L equals, then all we got left over here is 2W now, which if we're trying to get W by itself, that was definitely a step in the right direction. So now to get W by itself, we would just divide by 2 on both sides. And we would be left with W equals, and there's a couple ways you could write this. You could write P minus 2L over 2. That would be one way of writing it. Not bad. Having trouble with my circles here. Or you could write, you could distribute this 2, because you can distribute over division as well. So you could give this divide by 2 to each individual term in that expression. So you could write it like this: P over 2 minus L. Because 2L over 2 is just L. In my opinion, it's not a big deal which way of these you write. They both look about as simple as can be. So let's try another one. Yeah, let's try this one. So P equals IRT. I think this is some sort of physics equation. No. What is it? Looks like a financial thing. Yeah, we should be getting into that later this year. But anyway, let's solve this for T. So I think you guys could probably see that this is going to be, it doesn't matter if we solve for I or R or T. It's all going to be the same number of steps. So what we can do here is let's try it this way first. We'll divide both sides by I, and we get P over I equals RT. Now we would again divide by R to get the T by itself, and we'd get P over T over R equals, wait, that's not what we wanted to do. So I was trying to solve for T, but I divided by T. So now the T's over here. We probably want to just scrap that. So a lot of times you're going to be moving the wrong thing. I do that occasionally. So we'll just go ahead and erase. Let's try this one more time. So we're going to try to, instead of dividing by T, we're going to divide by R. Get rid of that R at least. Now we have P over R equals IT. And then we could again divide by I. Then we have P over R over I. But really that's the same as P over RT. Sorry, I equals T. Let me write that a little bit neater. So P over RI equals T. All right, let's try another one. That is the same one. All right, so y equals mx plus b. This is one you guys are familiar with. Sometimes you're given the y. Say you're given a coordinate. Say you're given some coordinates, and they want to know what b is if they tell you the slope. Well, you could plug things in first and then rearrange it around, or you could create a equation that's already solved for b. So let's go ahead and do that now. Well, let's see here. We got a plus b. We got m times x. Well, mx is really just being added to b, so we could just subtract it just as a whole big chunk. So now we get y minus mx equals b. And now we have an equation that's solved for b. So if somebody tells you y and m and x, you can immediately solve for b without having to plug it in here and then do algebra to solve it. So you're kind of doing the algebra first. All right, I got two on your own questions. So one of these is actually the volume of, this would be the volume of a cylinder, except we're missing something here. Let's go ahead and change this, and we need the height. So I want you guys to take this V equals pi r squared h for r. So you want to get the r by itself. And then this equation I just made up, solve that one as well. And I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.